Okay, so hello everyone. This is day 11 of Django REST framework. In last videos, we have discussed about some concepts like we have discussed about the serializations. We have discussed about the serialization concept. We already discussed about the deserialization. Okay, and we have already discussed about the validation. Okay, so these three things we have discussed already. Okay. Now today we have to discuss about the model serialization. So today's concept is what? Model serialization, or we can say model serializer. Okay, so what's the use of model serializer? It makes our work easy. Okay, so let's understand what is the problem with normal serializer. So as you can see here in our code in the serialization file, so this is our normal serialization. So I have created here employee serializer class. Okay. So in order to perform the validation, we need to use validate method here, right? And if you want to update a record, so what you need to do, you have to create an update function, and here you have to write code manually everything, right? And whenever you are creating the record in the database, then what you need to override which method? Create method. Okay. So in order to overcome these challenges and in order to decrease the length of the code or making the code meaningful, we use what? Model serializer. Okay, so if you will see here our model class, so in our model class, how many fields are there? Like employee number, employee name, employee salary, and employee address. So these many fields are there. But when we talk about serializations class, so many things we are writing here. So a model serializer will make our serialization concept very easy. Okay. So but before begin with model serializer, let's understand the what's the actual problem with normal serializers. So the first problem we can say with normal serializer is we have to define all fields like e-number, e-name, e-cell, etc. Okay, manually. What is another problem with normal serializer is that implement create like create method. You have to write create method and you have to write update methods explicitly. Okay, there is no inbuilt support. Okay, there is no inbuilt support. So whenever you are creating, so you have to write create and update manually as we are writing here. Okay, we are writing here what? Create and update manually, right? So this is a problem with normal serializer. So how to overcome this problem? Okay, to overcome our problems, we should we should go for model serializer concept. Okay, so how to write model serializer? Model serializer is nothing, we will define a inner class. That inner class is nothing but meta class we will write. Okay, so we don't need to write these all information. So what I will do, I will just comment these all the code. Okay, so you can assume that there is no code. So I'm just commenting all the codes. Okay, so right now we don't have any code, just forgot about it, and let's suppose there is no code. Okay, so what I will do in this employee serializer class, I will create one inner class, and that inner class is nothing but meta class. Okay, and here I will tell in the meta class, meta means the data about the data. So I will tell my model information. So what is our model? So we have created here model, and our model name is employee. So this information we have to give to the meta class. So in model, which model we have to use? Employee model. Okay, so how many fields are there in employee? Employee model, e number, e name, e salary, and e address. So these many fields are there. So do you want to use some fields or all the fields? So I want to handle all the fields. So I will write here fields is equals to what? All. So here I will write underscore underscore all. Right. So this is the code only you have to write in what serializer. Earlier we were writing these many lines of code to create, to update. Okay, but now we don't need to write that much line of code. Okay, and one more thing, here we have to make this class. Earlier it was inheriting what? Serializer class, but right now we have to provide it as what? Model serializer. So in the serializer module, in the serializers module, there is one class called model serializer. Okay, so this is we have to take care about it. Okay, model serializer. Right. Okay, so now if you want to fetch the records, if you want to fetch the record, means your third party application, which is nothing but test.py file, and this file want to fetch the records from the database. Okay, so let's see what are the records available in the database. So here we have existing database. So these many records are there. Okay, so these many records are there. So the third party application want to get these database information, so we will provide it into the JSON format. Okay, we earlier have seen in the test if there is one method called get method. Okay, so this is the get resource method. Okay, if id is none, if id is not provided here, then id will be none. So I'm just commenting all the code. Okay, let me just close this first. Okay, and now let me just comment this. Okay, and I will uncomment only the code for get resource. Okay, and in the serializer file, what I have done, in the serializations file, I have written only 3 lines of code. Okay, but earlier we were writing these many lines of code in order to communicate with Django application. But with model serializer, our code short. Okay, so what I will do now, this third party application will ask the data from the Django application, and let's see whether it get the data or not. So let's go to in with project folder and run the server first. So run server. Okay, so server is running. Now open a new terminal. So you can click on this plus button to get a new terminal, but already is there. So I'm not opening. Right. So right now my location is TRF5, but we have to go with this project with REST framework. Okay, sorry, I forgot to write CD with REST one. Okay, CLS. So here you can see we have this test.py file. So we have to run this file. So how to run? Py manage. Okay, py tests.py. Okay, so press enter. Okay, it is not fetching the record. What's the issue? Okay, so I think we are mentioning the wrong ID. So see, two ID is not available here. So let's skip the ID is what, 3. Now let's try to run the application one more time. Okay, so CLS. Now run the test.py file. Okay, again error. What is the error here? Okay, let's go to the views whether it's there or not for the code for. Okay, this code is there, but so we have to uncomment this code actually. Or what I will do, I will just copy this function which is there and I will keep it here, that function. Okay, so this is the get function, right? Okay, so what I will do, I will just uncomment this code, put code, right? And in this employee corrects CVV, there is one method only. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, this is the get method. This is what we have to uncomment. Okay, I have done wrong. Let me just uncomment this. Okay, so this is the get method, and I can delete this code because we should not write two classes because one class is enough. Okay, is there any error? Okay, no error, I guess. Okay, now let's just run the file once again. So py test.py file. Okay, now it is fetching the records. Okay, so it is fetching the records. See, in the serialization, we are not writing that much code. Okay, so if you will see serializer, so in this serializer, I have written only 3 lines, and with the help of this model serializer, we can reduce the code and we can get the data. Okay, so this is about update. Let's suppose I am not passing any ID, so it will fetch all the records. When you are not passing any ID, so it will fetch all the records. So py test.py, and you can see all the records from the database it has fetched. Okay, so get method is perfectly working. Get means fetching the records from the database by the third party application. That's fantastic, it's working. Now what we have to do, another thing, we have to check whether we are able to create the record or not. Okay, so for creating the record we need to uncomment which method, this create resource method. Okay, so create resource. Okay, so here what we have to do, let me give some number like 109, and Rohit, not Rohit, but let's suppose Raju. Salary is what, 18,000. Location is what, Pune, right? And in the views.py file, what we have to do, we have to uncomment this method. Not this, but create method. Okay, not delete. So we have create method. Get is there. Okay, post is there, post method. Okay, so with the help of post we can create. Okay, so what it is saying, resource created successfully. Okay, so this is we have to run. So which file we have to run now? This right now. Is there any Raju record? Let's check in the database. There is no name called Raju in the database. If you're not able to see this, what you can do, you can go to the browser and you can write here localhost. Make sure your server is running. You can go to the admin and you can go to the model and you can see, is there any Raju name available? No, not available. So let's run the test app because we are creating a new employee which is, his name is Raju, and let's run this. So first let's clear it. So py tests dot py, and what, okay, 200. Okay, we are not getting a proper message, but we are getting 200. 200 means success code. Success code means let's check whether record has created or not. So refresh. So you can see here Raju record has created. Okay, so means with normal serializer we have checked to create the records, but with model serializer also we are performing all the tasks, right, without writing those many line of code. Okay, so now let's uncomment this. I mean, let's comment this create. Now let's try to update the resource. For updating the resource, we have this update method. Okay, so here what I will do, I will mention the ID of that resource. Okay, so what is the ID? ID is 10. So ID is what, 10. And I want to update what? I just want to update the name. So name I'm writing here Raju Sharma. Okay, so Raju will replace with Raju Sharma. Okay, and salary I want to give like 7,000. Okay, so 7,000 is the salary. Okay, and in the views, let's see which method is responsible. Put method. For updation, there is put method, which is responsible to update the record. Okay, and there should be partial updation true to update the record partially. Okay, so the indentation is not proper. So what I need to do, see, it is displaying error because this code indentation is not proper as per the standard. So what I have to do, I have to keep it here and let me use multi cursor. Okay, just go here and here. Indentation is important in Python. Okay, wrong indentation will lead to the error. So it's important to keep the indentation, and this should be outside the. For multi cursor, you can press Alt key. You can hold Alt key and you can click. So you will get. Okay, so now it is not showing error, right? Okay, so we are updating which record? 10th record. Okay, so the ID of 10th record, which record we are going to edit this 10th record, and the Raju name will replace by the Raju Sharma and salary will also change as per the new salary. Okay, so let's run this code. So to run this code, we need to write here py test.py 200 resource updated successfully. Okay, let's see whether it has updated or not. So Raju Sharma is coming. So whatever task we were performing using normal serializer, all the tasks we can able to perform with model serializer. Okay, it makes code more readable. Next is what? So updation is done. Okay, now let's talk about delete the resource. Okay, so which resource you want to delete? And provide the ID of that resource. So let's suppose I want to delete this 10th record only. So I will mention here ID is what 10th and view. Let's check whether delete is available or not. So we can uncomment this delete. Okay. So we are calling one method at a time. So we don't need to comment and uncomment method. So although all the methods are there, we can keep all the methods all together, but at a time one method will call as per the test step request. Okay, so test step request is what delete, so it will override the delete method, it will call to the delete method. Okay, so let's check whether it is able to delete the 10th record or not. So 200 resource deleted successfully. Okay, so which record? This 10th record we are seeing right now, but let's refresh and go on. There is no 10th record now. Okay, so all the operations we are able to perform. Okay, so here let me write the, I'm giving full code of this test tab. Okay, take the full code of test tab. Okay, as well as I'm providing full code of views.py file. Right. Okay, so in the serializations.py file, we have written just this line of code. Right. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Let's practice this, all the concepts. Okay, so that you get more clarity, and with practice only you will get more clarity, right? So thank you everyone for watching this video, giving and for giving you valuable time. Please practice, guys.